This channel is supported by TrueFire. TrueFire is an online library of lessons from some of my favourite players. There's thousands of lessons on there. You can use the promo code JNC40 to get 40% off of any of their courses. Of course, on this channel I often talk about things like modelers, and I definitely feel like modeling stuff presents, I think, the best value for money for a guitarist, and I'd certainly say, you know, if you're on the fence about trying some of this stuff, there are tons of good reasons, that's a lot of sun in it, to try this stuff. But this video is about some of the pedals that I think I would have a great deal of difficulty selling, because they're possibly a little bit special to me. Anyway, they're different reasons, so I'm just going to show you them on the board here and show you a demo of why I like some of them. And what you're hearing is it all going through the HX Stomp. The HX Stomp is doing no other effect except for a dual amp model type thing. So it's a PedalPlatform essentially is what I'm using it for here. Let's jump in. So let me just show you the clean tone with nothing on. This Pete Cornish pedal does supposedly have a really nice buffer in it, but he would say that. But anyway, it sounds like that sort of thing. That's a bit of D major for you. Now, this was a pedal bought for me by my wife. Clearly knows that I'm into reverb. This is the Worst Audio Slow. The only thing I do wish they'd done with this pedal is maybe made it stereo. But it's got this freeze which I really love. But I just love it. It's one of those classic kind of plate, lush, long, spacey, diffused tail type thing. So that's, I think, my favourite standalone reverb pedal out there. I really like that one. I don't think I'd sell that one, although I don't use it much. I do find does definitely do that magical thing. Yeah, just a pretty thing in general. Now, the other thing, Rick, my old teacher, Mr. Leyland, gave me this blues driver, which I had expressed on the channel that I wanted to demo one. He sent this down. It just does that beautiful kind of edge of breakup type thing. I did a video on this more recently. The reason I was interested in it is because Andy Timmons has one on his board, and whether they're stock or modded, they all basically do this thing where they just sound great. And the idea is that between the two drive kind of parts of the circuit, you've actually got a simulated, you know, in transistor form Fender tone stack, and that's what is kind of the magic of the blues driver. I didn't know that until I looked it up relatively recently and did a video on it, but I think for the money, the blues driver is a fantastic little pedal that people should, I think, try at least, borrow one off a mate or something. You may find that you love it. Going from something reasonably priced to something less reasonably priced, the Van Wielden Royal Overdrive, I don't think I'd sell because you can't get them anymore. So in theory, this might be a solid thing to hold on to anyway. One day they might suddenly come into fashion, but they are huge. And if you want this sort of thing, but in a smaller thing, the Dude is absolutely one of my favorite drive pedals as well, that you could do basically this job with, but you can do kind of that. You know, that dreaded dumble sound that so many pedal makers maybe say, but this one has a lot of stuff going in to it, a lot of components. That's why I stopped making them, because it became kind of too expensive, even though it was already an expensive pedal. Peter stopped making them because it was difficult to build them for the price that he was. As I say, if you wanted that kind of vibe, I would go for something like the Dude, which is obviously quite a similar pedal but in a way smaller enclosure. Give that a try, maybe. This one is a pedal that was made for me by Pete Cornish. It's special for a couple of reasons. One, it's made for me by Pete Cornish. I obviously paid him, but it's still pretty cool to have a pedal made for me by Pete Cornish. The other thing is it's got this buffer in it, which apparently is a cool thing, so it's a nice thing to have in the chain anyway. By itself, it's kind of like a gated dual fuzz thing. It's actually one of those fuzzes that has a really nice feel, which they don't, I find, all have. Some of them, because they've got like this harsh, spitty quality to them, they don't lend themselves to lead playing, I find, but especially if you stack this. Maybe I'll try stacking it with the blues. Okay, so that's, I think, a really, really good example of a fuzz. It's essentially 2 fuzz circuits in there and one other, I can't remember exactly what it is, but I'm not a huge fuzz nerd. This completely cured all fuzz gas for me, purely because it's too expensive for me to own more than one of this type of pedal, which I'm never going to use, or not often going to use. But this one, if I want a fuzz, this does the sound of fuzz that I really dig. The other thing that I don't think I'd ever sell is the Tube Screamer TS10. That's my favourite sounding Ibanez Tube Screamer. They've gone up a little bit in value to a point where I don't know that I'd necessarily recommend you going out and buying one, but for me it's my favourite kind of Tube Screamer tone. Those are my choices, I think. The HX Stomp is obviously one of my favourite pieces of gear in the entire world, but these are my other kind of choices for pedals that are sitting on my shelf and around the room that I think, those are ones that I really like, and I don't really see myself going off of those. Let me know yours in the comments. If you got this far in the video, thank you for watching. Let me know if you've got any pedals that are your go-to things that you think that I should try and get hold of. I noticed that there's no delay pedal here that is made the cut as such. The delays that I tend to use tend to be within modelers. Let me know if you've got a thought of a delay unit that I should 100% try. And I'll catch you in another video soon. Cheers.